welcome to this week's episode of Magoos Corner. I'm your host, Trev. I'm on my own tonight, unfortunately, and we do a shout out to the producer, the pig. He currently in bed or on the shitter, one of the two. I call it AIDS, but he calls it gastro, so we'll just have to see how he pulls up. Looking at Division 6 reserves this week, and 2 out of the 5 games were close, the rest were absolute bollocking. So we have a look at the first one, which was Brahma Lodge and Houghton Districts. Out of Brahma Lodge, and it was 22-14, 146 to absolutely nothing. Don't know if Houghton rocked up or what have you, but Brahma Lodge doing quite well. So looking at the goal scorers, we had Lehman with 7, Jimenez with 6, Clothier with a couple, Hennings also with 2, and a bunch of others getting individuals. And the better players on the day were Carter, Jimenez and Lehman. We'll go for Ryan and Steele as well, getting in there. And you have to go best players for Houghton. Obviously just running around, did plenty of Ks. It was Imken, Becker, Cooper, Rogers and Rick were the best players. And looking at second game for the round, and another belting, 22-13, 145 Mitchell Park, demolished Fitzroy, nothing. No score, not even a point. So we'll go through the best players for Fitzroy, which was Goodsall, Kevuoto, Potaro and Lennon. Any game like that is going to be difficult, and you got to shout out for them. I copped 18 of them last year. But looking at Mitchell Park, Wilson with 5, Smith with 3, Webb with 2, same with Bird, Thomas, Logan and a host of others getting individuals. And the better players were Summer Hayes, Patterson, Logan, Hay, D. Smith and Old. So nice day out for Mitchell Park. Now, the next one. I think this was the biggest loss for Mawson Lakes ever. I'll stand corrected, but I don't think you'd get close. I don't think you'd want to try and correct somebody on that, because if you got beaten by worse than this, you'd want to leave it there and not tell anybody about it. Woody South, 30 goals, 21, 201, and Mawson Lakes, 1 goal. So 195 point loss. Sumner with 12, that's a fair effort. Swanson with 4, the same with Eden. Tory Williams and Smith with 3, Trotter, Goods, Cross and Todd get the individuals, and the best players has to be Sumner with 12, Smith, Eden, Cross and Ridgeway. And the goal scorers for Mawson Lakes, Turner. That's it. Turner, Melican, Reschke and McMillan were the better players there out at, for the Mosquito Lakes. And that was out Ledger Reserve too, and they've got a few guys not playing just due to uni commitments and work. Shout out to Jake Ashby. So they've got Woody South are just kicking miles away from everybody else at the moment, and it's good to see. Now, finally, one of the closer games. Ingle Farm hosted the Tossers, Trinity Old Scholars out at Roe Park, and it was 11-9-75 to 11-6-72. So 3-point win there for Ingle Farm. Pretty even in the first quarter, but then Ingle Farm got out to a 3-goal lead, 3.5 goal lead at half time. And then Trinity came back 4 goals to 2 in the third, and then it was just Ingle Farm just holding on, 11-9 again, and with Trinity coming home with a bit of a wet sail with 4 goals 3. So very, very good game in the end. Williams with 3, Hogan, Burt with a couple, and a few others chipping in with 1. And the best players there for Ingle Farm were Sandry again, Hancock, McKellier and Sarson were the best players. For Trinity, Craig with 4, Shaper with a couple, the same with Collins, Eves, Ward and Dowbrin. And the best players were Little, Elvin, Craig, Palmer and Walker. So Craig getting up there again. Now my mates, Adelaide Lutheran, South Parklands and West Croydon. Unfortunately for the home side, it was 8-2-50 to West Croydon's 10-7-67. So nice win there. And yeah, for Lutheran, it was 3 goals to Hodges, Sivior with a couple, Matthews, Burford and Flett, and the best players were Clark, Shear, Hodges, Matthews and Bury. And West Croydon, Bottrell with 6, David Junior Sawtell kicked 2 goals, and I'm sure he would have let everybody know about it as well. Birch and Natty Khan back from suspension. Bottrell, D. Bottrell, L. Bottrell, Horseman, Birch and Watkins were the better players there. So let's have a look at what's happening in the actual competition stats at the moment. Matthew Lehman from Brahma Lodge sitting on 38 goals. Andre Wilson from Mitchell Park on 36. Elias Kuehler from West Croydon on 35. David Campbell also from West Croydon on 33. And Jason O'Regan on 30. So if we have a look at next week's rounds, round 13, and out at Falk Reserve, West Croydon hosts Ingle Farm. So after a win like that for West Croydon, 2 close games for both sides. You can't go past West Croydon at home for me, so I'm going to go for the Hawks, Fitzroy and Brahma Lodge. Well, Fitzroy, you're going to have to pull the pants down again this week, I believe, and Brahma Lodge will win by plenty. Houghton Districts and Woodville South, it's coming up against more of the topper sides this week, both sides in Houghton and Fitzroy. Woodville South, now they kicked 30 goals last week. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they're going to kick 40 or 45 goals this week, and that's out at Houghton Memorial Oval. Hopefully Houghton can put up a little bit of an act of football, so to speak. But yep, Woodville South for me. Mawson Ace and Adelaide Lutheran. It's going to continue on for Mawson's. Adelaide Lutheran by plenty, and the Tossers take on Mitchell Park out at Trinity College, and I'm going to go for Trinity there. So that's all we've got time for this week. Make sure you subscribe to the SA Footballer magazine. The game will be called live from Largs Reserves between North Haven, so make sure you download the Mixler app, and we'll catch you again next week.